goes Stephen Bunting against Niels Zonneveld. A head-to-head which sees Bunting 3-0 to the good. They played each other twice on the floor this time a year ago. They've not played since. To be fair, Stephen Bunting, not many players had a better calendar year than the Bullet in 2025. 6 titles, 2 of those on the Euro Tour in Riesa and Basel. Nobody had a better World Series than the Bullet either. Didn't have a great Premier League season though. It wasn't particularly fruitful for Stephen Bunting. Be hoping to improve that this time around on Thursday nights, but this is Saturday night on the European Tour stage, and he takes on the improving Niels Zonneveld. 4 semi-finals on the floor for him last year. Actually made a final in Hildesheim in July. Lost out to a Pole in Sebastian Białowieski, his first PDC title. 6 European Tour events for Niels Zonneveld last year. Reached the last 16 in a couple of them. The first 2 he qualified for, in fact.
First it's Niels.
So Dan Dawson, he'll be hoping to do something similar, or as we say, because he's on the upward trajectory, go one further, make a quarter-final, and then let's see where he ends up.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at players who could have a breakthrough year, this guy is a very strong candidate. I'd put him in the same sort of bracket as Willie O'Connor, Kevin Doots maybe as well last year,
60.
where they were playing some good stuff. They're in unenviable positions in the rankings. It did not make it easy for them to start making moves up. They were missing out on big tournaments by not very much. But the standard of darts suggested that things could change. Now, the problem that they've got is that even though the money that they won last year, it's going to stay on their 2-year ranking, and indeed it's on the Pro Tour ranking. That only lasts for a year. So once you miss out on the match play, say, or the European Championship, all of a sudden everybody's back to 0, and all that good work you've done doesn't really help you. Not really. So you've got to start again. But Niels Zonneveld is moving in the right direction, and I think that Zonneveld would look at somebody like a winner we've seen tonight already, Luke Woodhouse, and just go, if I work, if I graft, if I keep finding little ways to get better, then good things can happen.
And these kinds of games against these kinds of players, Stephen Bunting for Niels Zonneveld is also going to improve him further, isn't it? Tougher tests, more regularly. You can only get better from that.
100, Niels across 60.
Saw him lose a brilliant game to Johnny Clayton at the Worlds. You saw him lose a brilliant game to Gary Anderson at the World Masters. But he played so well. Double 10, left-hander on double 10. You know what's going to happen. 15 darts to start, and a strong start from Triple Z.
Yeah, included a maximum in there as well. Mentioned Ali Pally there, reached the 3rd round of the World Championships, his best run. Did lose to Johnny Clayton, like you spoke of, but did beat Michael Smith in round 2. That was a nice little scalp for him.
100.
Yeah, and that was Michael Smith averaging nearly 98 in that game, by the way. That wasn't a bad version of Michael Smith. Niels Zonneveld was just better that night.
Yeah, 97 average for the bully boy earlier on tonight as he squeezed out Joe Cullen. Wasn't even meant to be here. Bit of a bonus for Michael Smith.
Big bonus. Been a good week for Michael Smith.
Could
be a good weekend for Niels Zonneveld. Finished very well in his first round game against one of the host nation qualifiers, Piotr Maciejczak, 60% on the doubles. But if he brings the scoring here and he continues to finish well, then Stephen Bunting could be our first official seeded casualty this evening. Lost a lot this afternoon.
40.
That's all right. He's lost a point. What's a point between mates? Actually, to be fair, that point could come in handy, couldn't it? When you're on 181. Put it back in.
105. $45. Stephen Equal 100.
First look in this leg for Stephen Bunting.
I think he was probably right not to go tops. It was a tricky shot to find that treble 20. But better that than go out the board and maybe leave 60 or whatever. Although double 8 for Zonneveld. Oh, that's a cage rattler for Bunting.
Might have made the bullet rue not going for the double-double. Double 10. He is found by the bullet. Zonneveld wins leg 1 on double 10. Bunting wins leg 2 on the same target. Bunting's most recent European Tour success came in September
81.
in Switzerland. Winner of the Swiss Darts Trophy in Basel.
$100.
Picked up the title in Risa earlier in the year, beat Nathan Aspinall in that one. Aspinall, the only guy who earned more money on the Euro Tour than Bunting last year. Between them, picking up 5 titles.
That win in Basel in the final came over Luke Woodhouse, and we often say about Woody, don't we? He's the highest ranked player in the PDC, yet to win a title, and
140.
And it's unlikely to change because he keeps going up the rankings despite not winning titles. Really impressive display from Woodhouse tonight. I know we've seen an absolute masterclass from Luke Littler, but to come from 4-1 down against Callan Rids, win the last 5 legs, very, very impressive from Woodhouse.
Yeah, a ton plus finish as well to close it out, and one that finished on double 19.
99.
But Bunting was just too strong for him in Switzerland back in the autumn. Bunting has been too strong for a lot of players over the last couple of years.
Near to car 102.
Zonneveld is becoming increasingly more of a handful as time progresses. Fox not found for 102.
Stephen Equar 65.
This could be the break that Bunting's going to have to get if he's going to win this game. It's in the 12. And that's not in tops.
Near to car 20.
A third leg finished on double 10.
No score.
No.
Stephen Equar 40.
Tops again for Bunting. Now 6 darts missed in the match. Doubles to Niels Zonneveld. No double 10 again. But double 5 is okay for the bullet.
Stephen Bunting.
Well, he's already missed more darts at double in this game, Niels Zonneveld, in the first 3 legs than he missed in the entirety of the match against Piotr Maciejczak yesterday. And it means that he's surrendered the advantage that he had in this contest. When he surrendered it to Bunting, despite Bunting not playing anywhere near his best stuff. Not a good sign.
There's that point he lost a couple of legs ago.
Yeah.
63.
Who knows, it might come in handy, but just looks a little bit messy. The last few visits from Niels Zonneveld, Stephen Bunting might sense it.
140.
And Stephen Bunting should sense it. I think he's got better at sniffing out chances, smelling blood.
180.
And another 180 shoved up his nostrils by Niels Zonneveld. That's his 3rd in the match.
You saw Josh Rock to start the night. He's not had a fun time in the Premier League so far this year, but he came out all guns blazing against Willie O'Connor. Chance for Stephen Bunting to do similar here tonight, because he's not had an enjoyable start to the Premier League again this year.
48.
can't be easy when you're constantly being questioned.
60.
Especially when it comes to Premier League selection, it's such a big talking point these days. To be fair, it always has been.
Oh, annual rage day of the Premier League selection is a tradition in darts. Unfortunately, it seems to be going on, turning into a few weeks now.
25 is picked off. Can't find the 60. Just strays next door into the 3. Zonneveld for a level game. Finds a treble. Leaves the double on the 14 segment. Niels Zonneveld back in the game at 2-2 and back in it with a breaker throw.
Fifth leg, it's Niels to go first.
Treble 14, double 14 for the 70 for Niels Zonneveld. Very mensure.
I can understand the inquisition to an extent into Stephen Bunting's inclusion in the Premier League. But he'll be saying to everyone, I won 6 titles in 2025. You'd be hard pushed to find someone who won more.
42.
Admittedly, some of those are on the World Series, which not everyone plays in.
No, but look at the players he beats in the World Series. Beating Littler and Price and everybody. The players he's playing in the Premier League. And if you'd like to look at last year's Premier League, yes, he didn't win anything for 8 weeks. Won a night in Berlin. Michael van Gerwen didn't win a night all year.
$97.
A point between them. 4.5 legs played.
$105.
He's in the bullseye, so he will not have to use it to clear up what he's left, the 156. Over to the 18s for Zonneveld, perhaps.
$98. Stephen Nicol, 156. $60.
Would have wanted at least the treble to have made things more favourable for him. But still, 96, by no means a pickle for
46.
Stephen Bunting.
Stephen Nicol, 96.
For a break and a lead. Tried to force one through.
56.
Couldn't get it past.
Niels Zonneveld, 118.
Treble 20 should be the shot. And he gets it. 18 for tops. They lead the game.
78.
Pretty high in the end.
Stephen Nicol, 40.
Bunting's turn to seize the initiative. Plenty of room still. Double 10.
Game from the 5th leg. Stephen Bunting.
And the bullet does establish lead in this game.
Winner of this to face Jermaine Watamena,
6th leg, it's Stephen to throw
who
first.
survived those match starts against Danny Noppert earlier on this afternoon. One of the more dramatic games we have had over the course of this inaugural Poland Darts Open.
And the last one was pretty dramatic as well, with Krzysztof Ratajski. Final pole to bow out here in Krakow. Well, Niels Zonneveld has had no trouble finding the 60. That's his 4th maximum of this match. Just those 7 missed darts at double, which might hinder him towards the back end of the game. I do wonder with Zonneveld how often he reflects on that Pro Tour final in Hildesheim back in July, because it was a reduced field on that day in Germany. Quite a few players in the upper echelons of the rankings ladder that decided that they didn't want to turn up, and so it opened the door for the likes of Jermaine Watamena, who also won his first PDC title over the course of those couple of days. Niels Zonneveld reached the final. Sebastian Białowieski ended up winning it. Just wonder how often he does think back and
90.
and reflect and go, if only
Stephen Nicol,
I'd
170.
won that title, what sort of a platform would it have given me?
Oh, there's a platform. Oh, couldn't nestle in alongside it.
100.
Well, you'd hope that Niels Zonneveld just thinks, I carry on playing like I'm playing, I'm going to get more opportunities. And he'd get an opportunity here. Leaves tops. Oh, just a little short, very nearly a spectacular 135 to produce a fourth consecutive break of throw. Bunting on the 65. Couldn't get this in leg 3, but was allowed back. Might not be allowed back if he misses here. Tops. 4-2, we got daylight between these two for the first time.
Stephen Bunting. 7th leg, it's Niels to throw first.
It's not a commanding performance. He's 7 points behind in the averages, and he's had to see Niels Zonneveld miss a whole bunch of doubles in this match. But Stephen Bunting is 2 up and 2 away from a meeting with Watermanu in the last 16.
It's maturity, isn't it? Progression from Stephen Bunting. To win when you're not playing well.
140.
That's what winners do.
Well, I mean, look at his Premier League campaign. Guy plays well and loses a lot of the time. Certainly happened a lot last year, and there have been similar instances so far this year. Early days, granted.
60.
Take the win, however you can get it. Nobody's going to give you money for playing very nicely and going out.
100.
Such a nice lie. Begging to be followed. And it is for the 5th time in this game. It's not reflected in the score, as you were saying.
Flashy stuff is coming from Zonneveld. He's at 5 180s in 8 legs. But he's also had twice the number of treble-less visits. So he's finding the better stuff, but he's also finding quite a lot of ropey stuff. And it all comes down to when it gets to doubles, it's not been good enough for him. Going to get a chance to win this leg, but what's Bunting going to leave? Possibly tops. Definitely tops.
36. Newticon 96.
Needs to start popping these kind of finishes now.
2 doubles? Yeah, but 2 tentative.
56. Stephen Nicol 40.
There'll be no hesitation from the bullet here. Double 5 again.
35.
Not this time. Or maybe he did err ever so
40.
slightly. Opportunity for Niels Zonneveld. Double 10. Too many missed darts.
Stephen
Double
Nicol 5.
for Niels Zonneveld. I mean, Bunting's missed a few. Zonneveld missed a couple more than that.
Ooh, he's not moving. But he's not finding the target either. And Niels Zonneveld is given yet more opportunities.
20.
Usually tops and 10s is a pretty fertile area for him. Not great tonight. The double 5 bails him out in this instance.
Niels Zonneveld, 8th leg Stephen to throw first. $140.
Well, Niels Zonneveld reached the quarter-finals on the floor in Wigan earlier this week. Ran into a commanding Luke Humphries
60.
display. Averaged 108.5 against him.
$95.
He qualified for the Masters. As we were saying before, performances need to be whole.
95.
This is bit part display. Scoring's been good, averaging over 90 still. 5 180s.
99.
Hasn't been able to finish off his chances.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's had enough chances in, enough legs to be leading this game and leading it pretty well.
85.
There are 3 legs in this match where Zonneveld has had darts to win it and then lost the leg. So he could have won this already. But Bunting, no need, no need.
126.
Couldn't help himself.
43.
Well, there we go. Look, the 5 180s, they've been balanced out by visits like that. It's a dozen trebleless visits for Niels Zonneveld. There's been some scruffy stuff in there.
25.
And it means that Bunting is missing and missing again. However, Zonneveld is not there to punish.
Yeah, there have been a few scratchy attempts at double for Stephen Bunting. That first
84.
effort at double 16 there was
Stephen
quite a way away
16.
from its mark. The second was inside. Outside. In the corner.
Stephen Bunting, 9th leg.
Just one more leg needed now for the bullet. Niels Zonneveld might be walking off the stage thinking if only it was more economical on the outer ring.
134. 140.
Again, 2 beautiful 60s.
140.
Can't follow it on this occasion. But like you say, it's those preceding or following visits. Let's see what he comes up with to try and get down from 227 after these 3 from the bullet.
59.
We did see Luke Woodhouse produce a great comeback against Callum Ridds. Ratajski threatened to produce one against Humphries. Not quite a comeback in that order of magnitude that Niels Zonneveld's facing here. 3 legs and he's got the throw in 2 of them.
91.
That helps him out.
'97. Near to par 136.
Another one there. To leave double 8 for 136.
120.
We'll be back.
$140. Near to par 16.
Zonneveld then just missed double 8 at the end of the combo. Just to close the gap. Can he go in off? Yeah, he can.
On the 9th leg.
It settled nicely, didn't it, in that second
10th
dart?
leg, it's Steven to throw first.
Gave him a nice chunk to aim at. 5-4, not dead yet.
Ooh, now then. Now
23.
then. Niels Zonneveld. A real chance to attack the Bunting throw. If he can take us all the way, he does have the darts in the deciding leg. Just eliminate the scrappy visits. Because he's looked more likely to find the very good scoring ones.
$58.
Another window of opportunity for Zonneveld. Just the 58 scored by Stephen Bunting in that last visit.
57.
Once again, he comes up dry, the Dutchman.
It's an advantage, but it's nowhere near as big as he would have wanted, Niels Zonneveld. Just dragging those darts low. Is the arm tightening up a little bit? What was that little dip from Bunting about? Has he got a problem with his arm, his back?
I think he was just trying to sweat with his hands. Was his equipment back up to 100% after that Robin Hood. Made some running repairs.
81.
This will be a real tough one for Niels Zonneveld, because he was given a chance to really dominate this leg and put himself in the driving seat in this game, and he's not taking it. It can still be won. Big setup shot here for Zonneveld. The Dutchman will fancy his chances. He's crammed another one in there. And he's crammed all three, and it's off a dozen 180s for Niels Zonneveld.
He's going to get first look, but Stephen Bunting, here comes the bullet.
140.
Such a good time, 40. The last leg decider. Deep breath from Niels Zonneveld. These chances have not been going for him all match.
Staying on that segment. There's the bullseye. And Niels Zonneveld has missed the dart to take us to a decider where he would have had the darts, and Stephen Bunting gets match darts here. Zonneveld gave himself a chance, he's not able to take it, and Bunting take his. Yes, he can, but only just. And Stephen Bunting, the world number 6, holds off Niels Zonneveld. Triple Z very nearly taking us to a last leg decider where he would have had the advantage. Perhaps a missed opportunity from a man who hit half a dozen 180s but missed 16 darts at double.